Hello, dual enrollment students. I am your instructor. My name is Jody Sieber. You will probably mostly see me behind the screen, but I am a real person here on Cagney State's campus. But I am making this video to go through the syllabus with you and kind of how to function in the course, how to go through, log into your e-learn, turn in your homework, kind of as a guide. It's going to be really tempting for you to not watch this video in full, but I'm going to caution you, please do. Please watch this video. It will answer a lot of questions. Never fails. I've got a student that will skip through this and then get kind of lost in the course or ask some questions. And they're usually all answered in the group. So I'll try to make it fun, light, quick as possible. And we'll go through your syllabus. I'll show you how to find it, but please watch the full video. Before I click over and show you your syllabus, I want to show you your textbook. And it's some of you, I think, have classroom copies in your high school. Some of you may have where you have funds to purchase a textbook. This is what this course, this textbook looks like. It is by Paradigm and it's the 7th edition. You can function in the course without this, but it's going to be really hard to function. So if you are available to get the textbook, I would encourage you to, because it will make it much easier. You'll see when you start, when I show you how to turn in your homework, it goes based off of what this says here. But looking at your syllabus, you'll see this should pop up right into your e-learn account. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, so we are required to have some of this information. So you don't really care about it, but we have to have it. So the course introduction, how many credit hours and contact hours it is. Here's my contact information. I'm going to say the easiest, quickest way to reach me is through my email here. Because I'm in and out teaching this class in person. I've also got some other courses that I teach on campus. So if you have a question, shoot me an email. I'm usually pretty responsive. If you email me like on Friday afternoon, especially after about 4 o'clock, give me until at least Sunday night, Monday morning to get back to you, because I try not to check emails over the weekend. I've got 2 young kids at home and try to give them their home time and give you guys my work time. So just give me a little bit to get back to you if you do that outside of business hours. So here's the course catalog description, things that is going to be covered throughout this, prerequisites, co-requisites, and fill standards. You guys don't care about that. Here's the name of the textbook that I just showed you if you need to find it to purchase it in the 7th edition. Other required materials is just going to be a full functioning calculator. While you're working through problem sets, you can use your phone. The calculator on your phone is fine. But when you take an exam, you can't have your phone with you. So if you just want to purchase a small calculator, most hospitals already have them in the United States. We have to put programs, student learning outcomes, of course, learning outcomes. That's probably good. Some of this next few things are just required on the syllabus that we have to put in here. The required assessments, things are going to be tested over. And what you probably really want to see here is this grade distribution. So really 3 different things average to make your final grade. The biggest thing that I want to point out here is quizzes, homework, and activities are 40%. This here is mostly going to be made up of your homework. We don't really do a lot of quizzes or other activities. It's homework. And if you put in the work, anybody can turn in their homework. If you put in the work, that's at least 40% of the grade, because another 40% is going to be your test average. And you may not be a great test taker. What can help boost that test average is turning in your homework. And I'll show you how to do that. You also have to have a passing test average to pass the course. If you don't have a passing test average, I cannot even pass you. Passing goes by grade average, but what? And then the comprehensive final exam is 20%. There is a way to be exempt from the final exam, and I'll show you that here shortly in college policies and instructor policies. So here's our grading scale. Anything from a 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C. I usually stop there because that's passing. Anything below that's not passing, and you're not going to do that. You'll be great. We do have a thing called Shining Estates Professionalism and Work Ethic. We utilize this in our pharmacy tech program to help get our students workforce ready, talking about professionalism and teamwork and productivity as a way to evaluate them. We don't do it as much in this dual enrollment course, but if you guys love it and come back and see and our program director for the full program, you'll get to see this work ethic about the scale one. So here's instructor policy specifically. So you have to meet the deadlines that are listed in here, and I'll show you on the calendar, and you'll see them populating in your deadlines of when you have to take certain exams by. If you do not take your test by those deadlines, that test now becomes a 0, and it will result in failure of the course. There are some random things that have happened before. A student was getting ready to take an exam, and it was like the last day that it was open, and they had already scheduled it with me and their proctor, and maybe school was closed that day. If that happens, I will open it up and like increase that deadline. That's out of our hands. That's something, understandable. But if you just never get with me to schedule your exam, then that will result in a 0. You don't. So this is a college course. You are encouraged to seek help as soon as you identify difficulties. Again, this is online, so I can't tell how you're functioning in the course. If you're struggling, I'm relying on you to let me know. And that early intervention is going to be key. If test 1 closes on August 31st, but let's just say it does, and you contact me the 30th and say, hey, I don't understand this, that's not a timely intervention for going through something, because the test closes tomorrow. Why would you reach out sooner? So as soon as you notice difficulties, notify me. We can get together and have a Zoom session, or I can record a video for you to watch at your own, going over a certain topic. If you do not send your email within business hours, giving you a little bit more time, like I said, to follow up with that. But it is your responsibility to seek out and communicate with me and let me know if you're not. You are also expected to engage regularly with this course, logging in, completing your homework, completing your exams. Attendance is monitored based on your participation. So if you, for the first 2 months, never log in and turn anything in, that's going to be an issue. You will miss some deadlines. And so our learning management system that I keep talking about called eLearn, it can track analytics and see how often you're logging in, how long you stay logged in for. So it's not something you have to log in every day to do. But you should at least be logging in a couple of times a week to complete this. If you don't, then you're probably not going to be something on the course. Because it's called asynchronous, which means you do it on your own pace. So, students can elect to be exempt from final exams if your grade average is a 90 or higher and you have no test grade below an 85. It also goes into the no unexcused absences or parties, but this is really for my in-person students. So if your homework average and test average when you finish is at least an A, and you haven't made below an 85 on a test, you do not have to take the final exam. It's scaled and it's an A. Grades are not going to be rounded, so if you finished with an 89.99, you'll have to take the exam. That is not a 9. Sorry. You have to pass each course with a C to progress. So if you don't pass with a C, then you will have to retake the course if you ever want to come into the pharmacy tech program. And if I ever offer extra credit, you can't use that to get to a C or to get to passing. Extra credits to enhance your good grade. It's not to become exempt from the final exam or do the passing. You'll see that our course is made up of recordings where I go through each problem set, and these recordings are for educational purposes, and we can't share them to anyone that's not listed in the course, because that breaks this little rule called FERPA, which is kind of like FERPA of education. If someone's not registered for this, they should not be able to see the recordings. It's a student privacy. You can't modify them and you can't commercially use them. I've had some pretty good jokes throughout these recordings, so you can't leave my content and get things on. Good. If you score below a 70 on a scheduled test, you can retake that test within 7 days, and your retake, the highest possible grade that you're going to make is an 80. You can only retake one test for each class a semester. So let's say test one comes up and you don't do too well on it, and you say, Jody, I want to retake this test. Within 7 days, you can schedule a retake with me. And let's say you retake it and you ace it, you get a 100 on it. Well, in the grade book, it's only going to be showing an 80 because that's not very fair for you to have a retake and get a perfect score and someone who did well on the first time get a 90. So the highest possible that you can get is an 80 on a retake, but that's better than a failing grade. Now, once you retake a test, there's your one free pass for the semester. You cannot retake test 2 if you fell out or test 3. So use your one retest wisely, and then just know the highest is going to be an 80. The goal here for this is for you to know the material, and that's why I make you retake anything less than a 70, because I want you to know the content. Those retake tests, the format could be different. Usually it's different numbers, but it will be kind of the same topics. And you have to schedule your retake with me at a time that your priest or proctor at your site. You are required to secure your proctor for every test and exam that you take. You are responsible for securing that proctor and letting me know at least 1 week before you decide to take that exam. So you can't come in on Wednesday and say, hey, I'm taking my exam at 2 o'clock today. Because our exams are closed, I have to open them for you. You give me time to open. I need some. Now, if there's issues with your proctor at your school and we don't really know, I need you to let me know ahead of time. Hey, they're waiting to see if they're available on this day. This is what I'm seating for, and that way I can have that open and ready for you. Because, like I said, I teach other courses, and I want to have them open and available. That test open and available for you to take. So that way you're not waiting on me. So what you'll do is when you're ready to take a test, you will find a proctor. And usually your schools already have someone set up that will proctor your exam. You'll go in that teacher's classroom or office and take your exam on e-learn with them. And they will make sure you're not having any of these things that are listed here, your phones, AirPods, earbuds, and no notes or talking with someone, basically making sure you're not cheating. And if you do attempt to cheat or use any unapproved resources, we have to go through our student affairs office, academic affairs, and it's not a fun process. So just don't. And then I'll show you how to find our college policy statements once you log in. So this is how you're going to find your course. You are going to go to chattanoogastate.edu. And it will take you to this website here. Once you log on to our homepage, you're going to click the drop-down menu that says My Chat State, and you're going to click eLearn. eLearn is our learning management system, and it will prompt you to log in. Hopefully you have login information through our dual enrollment office. If not, reach out and I can hook you up with one of this. Nice stuff. Depending on how hungry you are or how smart you are, you either call this icon here a waffle or a Rubik's Cube. I call it a waffle. You're going to click the waffle icon here, and that's going to give you a drop down of the courses you're listed for. You can see I have a lot of courses. I've taught here for 11 years, so I have a lot of courses listed to my name. And you can see I'm teaching 2 pharmacy calculations courses this semester, but you will only have one, and you're going to click that one pharmacy calculations course, and it will pop up a welcome. It'll say, hey, dual enrollment students. And if you're watching this video, you have probably already seen how to get through here. I think I'm going to try to email this to you though before you get to this. Here's my contact information again. And then here's a small dual enrollment welcome. This is me. She looks really cool. She's welcoming you. And then here is your syllabus that I'll have in here with a video that is going to go over it, to this video here that you're now watching. And then I have a course schedule listed. Now, this is a guide. This is not a hard have to do these problem sets when, but what you will see on here is deadlines for when you need to have a test completed by. And it also has days that we are closed on campus, different things like that. I'm going to pull this up a little bit larger for you to see here in a second. And then here's these college policy statements I was talking about. You guys are Chattanooga State students, so you are, you can use all of these resources that we have: counseling on site, we have a food pantry, we have all these things that you are, we're able to utilize as a Chat State student. And anytime we have campus closures, we use a Tiger or emergency system. You can sign up for those here if you want to get them and get notified when you have one. You can hit dismiss and this will never show up again. You can close it out and it'll pop up every time you log in. Just depends on which one you want. You are going to primarily function here under the course content tab. As you can see here, begin by selecting content at the top of the page. And this will walk you through all of our different chapters that you're going to go through. I'm going to click on this to look at it as a student so you can kind of see it as you would see it instead of seeing it on my stuff. So here is the Read Me First tab. This is where I was talking about all these things that will pop up automatically. Here's where that schedule's listed. So it's got the first day of class. You can see, okay, you'll watch the syllabus introduction and you'll start working on the problem sets. So it's set up to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It doesn't mean you have to log in on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's just a good guide to how to work through a course. As long as you're meeting these test deadlines, you can do it whenever you want. Labor Day, we have no classes. So you don't need, you can turn stuff in. Doesn't mean e-learning is closed down. You can still function without. Ideally, you take the test on September 19th, but you'll notice that the last day to take test one is September 26th. So these bolded reds have your last day to take certain exams. That's what you need to pay attention to, and they're put in the e-learning here as well. Our fall break is the 6th through the 10th. So we do not meet during that week. You can still turn in homework and function in the course that week, but if you email me, it may take me longer to get back to you that week because we are closed. Well, we're not closed, but and then test 2, Halloween will be the last day to take that exam. And then we have November. The biggest thing here is Thanksgiving break. We're closed, and I believe all the schools are closed as well. And then the last day to take test 3 is going to be December 3rd. And then we have 2 days for final exams. So you can either take them on that Monday or that Tuesday. And you'll get with me closer to time. I'll tell you if you're exempt or not and how to go through that. I have to turn in grades the early morning of the 12th of December, and you should be able to see them the 19th on our website. So that's a guide of how to function in the class. It's just a guide, not hard deadlines unless they're in bolded red. So when you get ready to start in the course, you'll start under each chapter, and you'll notice that it starts out with the chapter recording, and then there's a problem set. And then chapter recording, and then there's an extra help, and then problem set. Recording, problem set. That's how it's set up and designed for you to click here. Here's the meeting password. You'll open up the recording, and this may like glitch the matrix here because I'm in a WebEx doing a WebEx, but you'll type in the password. They're all the same, pharmacy 1, and it will pull up the class recording for you to watch of that chapter. Now, if you go through and you say, I already know how to do this, you can then jump straight to the problem set. Just know that in the recordings, I usually go through the chapter, I work some examples, and I usually start working out some of the problem set with you. So if you get stuck on a problem, you can kind of go towards the end of each recording and I may work that problem out for you. Before you email or ask any questions, I'm going to ask that you watch the recording to make sure that I don't already answer that here in the recording. Very important. They're there to help you and to go through each recording that's listed, or each problem set that's listed. The book starts out really basic. So chapter 1 is almost going to go back to like elementary school type things, because I get a lot of college students that can't remember how to do fractions and decimals and things like that. So the book starts out very basic, and it works its way into more complicated pharmacy calculations. So most of my students fly through the first half of this textbook. It's the back half where we're kind of learning some of these mini topics that people tend to slow down in. You can go as fast as you want through this course. I had a dual enrollment student one time that finished it in about a month and a half. That is possible. You can also just stay right on time with the deadlines, as long as you meet the deadlines, you're good. So after you watch the recording, you'll be ready to take the problem set. And I know this says quiz. Don't freak out that it says quiz. It's just the only way that this e-learn system will let us input these. So even though it says quiz, you'll notice here, it says there's no time limit for you to take it, and there's unlimited attempts. So you can do this as many times as you want. So when you're ready to start it, you'll hit start quiz, and you'll go through and answer the questions. These match up exactly with the questions in the textbook. Syllabus 4, 1.1 talks about Roman numerals. So whenever you answer the questions, you'll go through and type in your answers. Here's the thing about eLearn that I'm going to ask you to please listen to this part here, because it never fails. Students freak out and start emailing me. Please, please listen. eLearn is so sensitive. Let's say the answer to number 1 was 10 mLs and you typed 10 ml without a space. Well, when I put the answer in, I may have put 10 space ml, and eLearn may count your answer wrong, even though it looks like it's right. So when you go down here and you finish and you hit submit and it says you've got a 40 and you freak out, I manually grade every single problem set. I will go through here and look at your submission and make sure that everything is correct. So don't freak out. If you'll give me at least 48 hours after you submit it to grade this, I try to stay at least Tuesdays and Thursdays grading on these. Give me some time to grade this, and then you'll be able to log back in and see your grade update. Again, the first grade that you get when you hit submit is not your final grade. Don't freak out if you think, I know everything in this problem set, and you hit submit and it's a 52. It's a 13. Don't freak out. Just give me time. Let me update it. If I then grade it and you still bomb it, I will reach out to you. Say, hey, let's go through this problem set together and figure out what's going on. So do not freak out. Once you hit submit down at the bottom, I'm just going to exit this. It will populate your grade. You'll be able to see under here your grades for each problem set. So how many points you got out of 100 for each one of these. You can either click here or under quizzes. Once you submit a problem set, so evaluation status, again, if it's been graded, you can go back through and review your submission after it's been graded. So again, if you get it like a 13 and you're like, I swear I got these right, and you clicked on it and it pulls up and it will show your answer and the correct answer. And if they match, that means it's just an e-learn glitch and all that. But you can check your submission through quizzes or grades and it will pop up and show you. So again, each one is going to have a recording and a problem set for you to do. People hate fractions. I actually hate fractions, so I did an additional fractions help link here that you can watch as well to go through. I mentioned you have 3 tests. So test 1 is over chapters 1, 2, and 3. Before you take every test, I have a test review for you that you can watch where I go over what's going to be on your test. I encourage you to watch it. Again, it's not required, but I'll encourage you to. And then I even give you a practice test. So it is optional. You don't have to do it, but it's highly encouraged because it's just like the test but different numbers. And then you'll see under here, once you schedule to take your exam, test 1 will pop up underneath here and you'll be able to take the test. Same thing, chapters 4, 5, and 6, a test review video, and then a practice test, and then 7, 8, 9. Same thing, test review, And then your final exam will be in here if you're not exempt. So that's kind of how everything's set up in eLearn. If you get lost or need clarification on anything, definitely let me know. I would be more than happy to walk you through anything. Just don't freak out when you turn in your calculations homework and you do that grade. That's the biggest thing that I get lots of questions about. I get emails from people. So feel free to contact me anytime. I am happy to answer questions and help you guys and be responsive to whatever you guys need. Can't think of anything else that I need to cover in this. Hopefully I didn't bore you to death. If I think of anything else, then I'll just go on to it. It's so good. I can't wait to get started with you in this course, and you guys are going to do great.